Good morning. I'm John Wygand, Interim Dean of the College of Creative Arts, and I'd like to welcome you, our 2024 graduates, the staff and faculty, and all of your family and friends to our College of Creative Arts recognition ceremony. Who's excited to be here? And I'm going to squeeze this in right at the front. We had some crazy times several years ago. Stand up, students, if you did not have a traditional commencement ceremony coming out of high school. In recognition of the Miami Tribe of Oklahoma and Miami University's partnership, which began over 50 years ago, I'd like to begin today's ceremony by reading the Miami Land Acknowledgement. Miami University is located within the traditional homelands of the Miami and Shawnee people, who, along with other indigenous groups, ceded these lands to the United States in the first Treaty of Greenville in 1795. The Miami people, whose name our university carries, were forcibly removed from these homelands in 1846. In 1972, a relationship between Miami University and the Miami Tribe of Oklahoma began and evolved into a reciprocal partnership, including the creation of the Miami Center at Miami University in 2001. The work of the Miami Center serves the Miami Tribe community and is dedicated to the revitalization of Miami language and culture and to restoring that knowledge to the Miami people. Miami University and the Miami Tribe are proud of this work and of the more than 140 Miami students who have attended Miami since 1991 through the Miami Heritage Award program. And now, please stand and join graduating senior Jaisla Rosario Santos in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so brightly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave?
Please be seated. And thank you, Jaisla. That was amazing. I'd like to introduce the College of Creative Arts Executive Committee and Platform Party, and I ask each of you to stand as I introduce you, and please hold your applause until all have been introduced. First is our very special guest, Provost and former Dean of the College of Creative Arts, Liz Mullenix. Chad Reynolds, Assistant Dean, College of Creative Arts. Jeremy Jones, Interim Chair, Department of Music. Matt O'Masta, Chair, Department of Theater. Michael Bailey Van Kuren, Chair, Department of Emerging Technology in Business and Design, which we call ETBD. Glenn Platt, Director of the Armstrong Institute of Emerging Technology. Jason Abbott, Associate Dean of the Graduate School. Mary Rajero, Chair, Department of Architecture and Interior Design. Todd Stewart, Director, Arts Management and Arts Entrepreneurship. Rob Robbins, Past Chair, Department of Art. Jack Green, Director of the Richard and Carol Cox Art Museum. Patty Hannon Liberator, Director of the Performing Arts Series and Assistant Dean for External Relations. And our featured guest speaker today, Sandy Gross. Please be seated. I also want to recognize and thank several other individuals who have contributed to today's program. Please stand as I call your name. Our faculty marshals, John DeFrancesco, Della Reams, Harvey Thurmer, Young-Ah Ko, Molly Moran, and May Khalif. Nyop Ung, graduating senior in communication design, who designed the cover of your program. She here? Our sign language interpreters, Jessica Lurman and Stephanie Terry. Deans Gashard and Reynolds, Senior Academic Advisor Tracy Hayes, Assistant to the Dean Carolyn DeWitt, and Dean staff members Tasha Dean, Patty Liberator, and Micah Current, who together coordinated today's ceremony. I'd also like to ask the faculty to stand and be recognized this morning. Your professors, the extraordinary faculty of the College of Creative Arts, have worked tirelessly to inspire and guide you. As you leave the CCA, I hope that you will remember the inspirational teaching of your faculty. Make them proud, and join me now in thanking your teachers and mentors. And I'd like to make one more recognition while we're here to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates. This is also a celebration for the families and friends of these students whose support helped to make this day possible. So before we continue, I ask our graduates to stand up as you are able and to please acknowledge your family and friends with a hearty round of applause. Congratulations, class of 2024. I might have one of the best jobs here at Miami. As dean, on any given day, I can listen to our wonderful choral groups in Kumler Chapel or on the stage of Music Hall in Cincinnati, marvel at students' digital projections onto buildings at Blink, attend a play or a dance performance in the Gates Theater, watch our students defend their projects in front of professional architects and designers, attend Miami's fashion show with a packed house in Millett Hall, enjoy the student-run Spark Fest in the Art Squad, or an exhibit of student art at the Contemporary Art Center. The list goes on, and for all the crazy, talented things you do, graduates, thank you. As you leave Miami for whatever might come next, I'd like to offer 4 quick pieces of advice. Number 1, figure out what you're good at and what you love to do, and ideally what someone might pay you to do, and go for it. And I'm going to use a metaphor here. The Grubhub delivery guys on campus. Students, you know what I'm talking about? Parents, families, if you haven't seen these food delivery vehicles, I don't know, you probably haven't been outside yet. But these guys know what they're there to do, and they're going to get it done, and they know that sometimes life is stop and go. I actually like to get in their way just to see what they do. And that sometimes life requires you to redirect, but they keep their eye on the prize. For all their determination to get the job done, I do wish they had what I hope all of you have, a little more self-confidence. Maybe they're too timid, and I know that conjures up images of one of these little guys getting crushed by a moving vehicle, but sometimes you just need to go for it. Number 2, make the world a better place. While in many ways art and creativity is personal, it isn't just about you. It's also very much about others. This, graduates, is the power of the arts. We bring beauty into the world through our art and music. We tell stories that both reflect and challenge who we are. We create the environments we live in and make meaning in, and the things we use every day. We educate the artists of tomorrow. In a world where more and more artificial intelligence can solve problems for us by looking to what has worked in the past, we, as artists and creatives, look at those vast data sets and do something different, something new, and in so doing, we make the world a better place. Number 3, be kind. At the risk of suggesting the obvious, I observe that somehow kindness is all too often lacking in our world today. Here I suggest listening to Illinois Governor Pritzker's recent commencement address at Northwestern, Google it, where he concludes that the smartest people he knows are usually the kindest. In a world where we're too quick to judge, too certain that we have everything figured out, I challenge you to listen more, walk in the other person's shoes, seek compromise. That can be hard, I know, but our world needs it. And finally, number 4, have a sense of humor. A lesson that I've learned over my lifetime is that most of what we find troubling, frustrating, humiliating, crushing, life-ending in the moment is often given time, not all that big of a deal. Learn to laugh it off and move on. And again, I recall the little Grubhub guys. Redirect and move on. A sense of humor is invaluable to keeping life in perspective, and it will probably get you invited to more parties. So graduates, let's celebrate. It's my pleasure now to introduce you to a fellow thriving artist, Sandy Gross. Sandy Gross is an artist, a serial entrepreneur, and above all, a community pollinator who makes things buzz. Sandy received a BFA 1991 and an MFA 2004 in sculpture, both from the College of Creative Arts, and also has a master's in Montessori teacher education and early childhood from Xavier University. In 2001, Sandy co-founded Blue Manatee Children's Bookstore because of her dedication to children's education. Sandy went back to her art school roots and co-created Brazy Street in 2010, a converted warehouse in Oakley with studios for over 25 local artists. It's also home to 2 of Sandy's businesses, Brazy Glass Design, a studio that pushes glass design and fabrication boundaries to transform both residential and commercial spaces, and Glassroom, a glass art education program for humans of every age. Then in 2013, after searching for a restaurant with local eggs and maple syrup, she co-founded Sleepy Bee Cafe, with 3 locations in Cincinnati. This award-winning restaurant partners with farmers to use local ingredients, and because of their relentless commitment to the environment and sustainability, Sleepy Bee was the first restaurant in Ohio to receive B Corp certification. While studying sculpture at Miami, Sandy explored the properties of preciousness and fragility and their relationship to strength. This dynamic tension became a lens through which she views the world. It's no coincidence that Sleepy Bee highlights bees and all the pollinators, which are also both strong and fragile, as well as precious to our food system. Sandy tries to find time to create her own art, but her most cherished role is as mother to her 3 daughters and grandmother to her first grandchild, Walter. Please join me in welcoming Sandy Gross.
Hi. Good morning, and thank you, Miami's College of Creative Arts, for inviting me here today. I'm very honored to be part of this special day for all of you. It feels like yesterday and also a lifetime ago that I was here in your chairs. I was fortunate to speak at the CCA Commencement 11 years ago. At that time, I applauded you all for being able to create something out of nothing. How we have the distinct ability to take a lot of disparate pieces of knowledge, philosophy, and experience to create something. Like the universe, many things colliding and repurposed to make something new, more wonderful, and more relevant. Today, I want to talk to you about time, circumstance, the creative economy, and bees. Yes, bees, the insects that fly around and buzz. First, I want to celebrate all of you, the designers, the artists, the architects, musicians, and actors, you and your significance and contributions to the world. Personally, I think the world needs more people that think outside the box, recreate the box, and more importantly, question the box more than ever before. Unlike other majors, where you're asked to have the correct and same answer to a particular question, we as creatives are asked many times to create a unique solution to a particular prompt or set of circumstances. This involves a different way of gathering information for the assignment. We can't just study something or research in a textbook. I think we still have textbooks, I'm not sure. Certainly, though, we can reference previous answers or strategies that become an inspiration that others have put forth, but we are required to create something new. A new solution, a creative solution, something entrepreneurial. When I came here as a transfer student 36 years ago, I remember renting my apartment on High Street above Fan Shin like it was last week. I started towards my sculpture major. I had to make up for lost time. I had to take 4 studio classes in the first semester. In my first class, Visual Fundamentals, after learning about and creating examples of line, color theory, and form, we were tasked then with the conceptual idea of time. We had to make a 3-dimensional piece that showed the passing of time without showing a clock or a timepiece. Okay, this was much more difficult. Time was not only the subject, but it was our medium. Certainly, time is evident everywhere, but we had to show it in 5 minutes on Thursday at 9:15 in the New Art Building. Guess what? By the end of class, there were 15 different pieces that showed time. This is one of the many examples of how we as creatives have those gifts to do just that, create our version of time. It's a wonderful ability we all have, and you have all spent various amounts of time here, most between 4 and 5 years. What have you experienced in your version of time, and what have you created? Time, it's the only thing we can't get more of. We can't make it. We can't go back in it. Be selfish. It's precious. Use it wisely. Allow me to share a time when circumstance and time have come to play in my life. I loved my time here at Miami so much, especially in grad school, that in 2004 I wanted to recreate it. I wanted to live in perpetual grad school. However, upon graduating, I became pregnant with my 3rd child, so my work and teaching was out of my basement. Then, almost like clockwork, my daughter was old enough to go to school. The art glass company that I worked for contacted me to see if I wanted to be one of their educational resource centers. An industrial space on an acre of land became available, and my longtime collaborator moved back into town. So in 2009, Brazy Glass Design and Brazy Street Studios were born, a LEED certified solar-powered glass studio and School of Glass, which has taught over 20,000 students, employed over 30 artists and 13 interns. 3 of my interns became full-time, which is so exciting to see them, and creating site-specific glass installations for private and corporate clients, such as Duke Energy Center, Cincinnati Hospital, and Pepsi-Cola. As the Brazy studio and school became economically self-sufficient, I could turn my eye on another passion, food and sustainability. I always wanted to create a restaurant that focused on seasonal, again time, and local food. Selfishly, I always wondered if anybody ate like I did. Doesn't everybody want a local egg and real maple syrup for breakfast? Upon announcing my new plan, some questioned my sanity and gave it 6 months. After all, I was a sculptor working in glass. I was naive enough to know that I could create it and smart enough to know that I needed help. When I dreamed about this before, I thought it would happen when I was 50. But at the age of 45, once again, a set of circumstances occurred. A local chef who I had long admired but only met once moved back to Cincinnati. A boarded-up building down the street from my studio was available, and my interest in bees in their role in food production was at a fever pitch, because at that time there was a movie called Vanishing of the Bees. I don't know if any of you have seen it, it's great. And I was so obsessed that I got a copy of this movie and showed it to anyone in the studio who would come and watch it. This was the time. I'm an artist, I got this. I hired my art friends to make art for my walls. My studio created all the lights and the wall tiles. I created the logo, the typeface. The chef created locally sourced food that celebrated the seasons. Now, 10 years later, there are 3 Sleepy Bees in Cincinnati that source sustainably and are community focused. From the beginning, we were committed to hiring diverse employees who earn living wages and healthcare before that was even a thing in restaurant work. Who knows what could have happened? The building could have turned into anything. The chef certainly would have found her way to another restaurant. I share these stories of creative entrepreneurship because sometimes circumstance and opportunity present themselves not at the prescribed time or the time you thought they would, but be open, be agile, be willing to take a risk, and align when they present themselves to you. For the past 10 years, I've immersed myself in a few subjects, one of them being bees. Besides learning there are over 500 different species alone in Ohio, I also thought bees just buzzed around and landed on any flower, collected pollen and nectar, and moved on. Actually, though, most bees specialize in specific colors, season, form. Maybe they took that visual fundamentals class, I don't know. And some even a type of plant. They even know if a plant has been pollinated recently by another bee and will go to the next flower. And even more amazing is that if they're in the right plant at the right time, when the bee's inside of it, the pollen will just attach itself to the bee. They seem to be the masters of making their time matter, not wasting it, and only choosing the flower that suits them. As you all go from experience to experience, you will attract a lot of things like bees do with pollen. These could be mundane events like meeting a friend of a friend at your studio who happens to be a chef. It could also be profound experiences like visiting another country. Some will be great and some will not. Pay attention to the ones that stick, keep coming up for you, what attracts you, what repels you. We create value by solving problems, and even better when we can have a cultural, social, or environmental impact. Then as this stuff accumulates, something might happen. This is when time and circumstance come into play. How will you question the box and create one just for you? Your faculty, fellow students, and your family who have supported you throughout your numerous journeys cannot wait to see what life you create, and neither can I. So, congratulations, class of 2024.
Sandy, thank you for those inspiring words, and it's now my pleasure to introduce today's student speaker, Zoe Blank. Zoe, will you please come to the stage? I'm going to wait till you get up here and then put you on the spot. So. Zoe Blank is graduating from Miami University's Honors College with a BA in Emerging Technology in Business and Design from the College of Creative Arts and a BA in Data Analytics from the College of Arts and Sciences, as well as a minor in Computer Science. During her time at Miami, Zoe worked as a student orientation undergraduate leader and a resident assistant, as well as a teaching assistant for the ETBD and geography departments. She has been a member of the Astronomy Club for 4 years, with the honor of serving as president in her senior year. In her free time, Zoe enjoys learning about sharks and listening to her abundance of extremely specific Spotify playlists. After graduation, Zoe will be working in data management consulting in Columbus, Ohio. Please join me in welcoming Zoe.
Good morning, fellow graduates, professors and faculty, and loved ones. Thank you for being here to celebrate this milestone with us. My journey to the College of Creative Arts was a bit unconventional. I entered Miami as a data analytics major in the College of Arts and Sciences and spent my first years taking stats classes along with general Miami plan requirements. I enjoyed what I was doing, but as sophomore year rolled around, I couldn't help but feel like something was missing. I've always been an artistic person, whether it's drawing, making music, or simply appreciating other artists' work. I found that while I enjoyed data analytics, I was missing the chance to be artistic. By some fateful chance, at the same time I was feeling this, I started meeting people in emerging technology and business and design, ETBD. I watched these people learn how to shape a user's experience with a simple color choice. I watched them practice using fonts that evoke the proper mood in a viewer. I watched them build 3D models and map projections and prototype apps that looked so professional I couldn't believe someone my age had made them. Above all, I watched them create. I applied to join ETBD in the fall of my sophomore year, and I started taking classes that spring. I was immediately immersed in a community of students and professors alike who thrived on the act of making. I knew right away that ETBD was the right choice for me, that allowing myself the opportunity to create was exactly what I needed. And I also know that within the College of Creative Arts, this feeling isn't exclusive to ETBD. My friends in interior design talk about how their professors are so willing to collaborate with each other and their students. In the music department, I watch students work together to put on stunning concerts. Theater majors feel the camaraderie that comes with late-night caffeine-inspired rehearsals. The list goes on and on. Essentially, what I learned is that the College of Creative Arts is not where you just go to get a degree in something art-related. It's where you go for community, to connect with others who have the drive to create. I would hope that for all of you here today, no matter what your future looks like, dedicating yourself to the study of creating something feels like an act of love toward your inner artist. For me, as an artistic student in a numbers-oriented degree and a numbers-oriented thinker in an art degree, I realized that there's no such thing as unrelated majors. Last summer, I worked an internship in data management consulting, and going in, I expected to rely solely on my analytics background for knowledge. However, when I reflect back on that summer, I realized that most of the skills I displayed came from my time in ETBD. When I had to communicate visual information effectively, when I had to consider front-end user experience, when I had to synthesize different types of information into one cohesive picture. My experience in the arts is what made me feel up to the task. This is why I say that the drive to make art will take you far in life. Because as artists, we are developing skills required in every field, no matter how unexpected. The ability to create is a strength, dare I say a superpower, that you should be so proud of. Yet as artists, we don't just create for ourselves. Every single person interacts with art, whether or not they realize it. It's what they listen to on the drive to work. It's the buildings they walk past on the street. It's the clothes they wear, the apps they use, the books they read, the shows they watch, and so much more. We all rely on art to make life interesting. Further, we rely on art to cope. See, when I started writing this speech, I told myself I wasn't going to talk about the pandemic. Like many other people here, I graduated high school in 2020, and I've had years of my education and my life colored by COVID-19. Frankly, I'm tired of hearing the word unprecedented and of being told that I'm from the class who persevered. especially when for so many people, getting to have an in-person prom or graduation was the least of their concerns in the midst of a global pandemic. So why am I here now bringing this up? Well, when I reflect on the importance of artists in our world, I realized that 2020 highlighted an essential part of this idea that I just couldn't ignore. When you were at home all day, every day, coping with the stress of the world around you, what did you turn to? Personally, I streamed more music during the months of lockdown than ever before. I got back into painting and forced myself to observe the beauty in the mundane. Online, people talked about shows and movies that had just been released. They played games with friends, like Among Us, over video chat. They learned to appreciate the beauty of the spaces they now spent so much time in. This, to me, indicates something huge about artists. When the world seems to stop, and everything we think we know about living proves to be wrong, art persists stronger than before. As college students, it's easy to get bogged down in the details. We hand in assignments, we present projects, we perfect our portfolios so someone will hire us. I'm here to encourage you to take a step back and see the bigger picture. Games and sim students, you have created pieces that are ready to be pitched to investors or put on the market. Interior designers, you've planned out entire renovation projects. All of you have built out a portfolio over your years here that attests to your ability to create. From your perspective, this may look like a series of assignments or checkpoints, but to everyone here today, it's a huge accomplishment to be so proud of. In creating these things, you have done a service to yourself and to the world around you. I think many of you can understand the feeling that I had of missing out when I didn't have the space or motivation to create, and the relief I felt when I established that outlet for myself. To create is an act of love, both to yourself and to the world around you. I wish that every artist could get a 10-minute-long, spotlight shining, roses on the stage standing ovation every time they create something that's appreciated by someone else. The only problem with that is we would never stop cheering. Every single one of you represents the people that give others a reason to exist and keep going through the hardest of times. So if you get nothing else from my words here today, take this as your standing ovation. I'm here, and I'm cheering for you, and I'm so excited that you're alive on this earth to make beautiful things. I want to thank all of you, but especially the ETBD department, for helping me find my space at Miami and reigniting my love of art over these past 4 years. I will forever cherish the community of creatives that I have found here. As we go forward from today, as we leave the stage and take off our robes and pose for pictures with our families and friends, I hope you walk with your head held high. I hope you show off your art every chance you get, and I hope you know that those around you are so lucky to experience the things that you have and will create. Congratulations, class of 2024. We did it.
Thank you, Zoe. We'd now like to recognize those students who have earned special recognition or won top awards in their departments. First, would all of our CCA scholars as well as members of the Dean Student Advisory Council please stand? These students demonstrate exceptional academic achievement as well as talent and have contributed to our division in multiple ways throughout their 4 years here at Miami. This year also marked our 3rd annual SparkFest event, held just a few weeks ago, that brought both the visual and performing arts out on the Arts Quad and on display to the broader university. A big thank you to all those who worked on this project, and a special shout out to this year's chair, Mallory Stiles. If you worked on SparkFest, stand up. Let's give them a round of applause too. Next, we'd like to recognize our top undergraduate award winners in each department. Those students called to the stage will receive an original work of art, a medallion designed and created by Hannah Litt, Okay, stand up, Hannah. And if you look at this close up, it's absolutely gorgeous. Good job. Hannah is a graduating student in studio art and art education, and the medallion design is pictured in your program, and it's been 3D printed for today's ceremony. The chair of each department will present these awards, and I invite Mary Rajero to the podium to present the Outstanding Senior Awards for the Department of Architecture and Interior Design.
Our department made several awards at our ceremony last week, and I'd like to ask a few of those students to stand and be recognized. Leah Iannakouros, the Alpha Rho Chi Service Award. Zarin Promi, the AIA Medal of Academic Excellence. Will Monroe, the BTES Edward Allen Award. Chris Curtis, the ARCC King Research Award. Will Monroe and Marissa Sandoval for the ALA Award. Today we also recognize two students, and I ask you to come to the stage to receive a medallion. The Outstanding Senior Award for the major in architecture is presented each year to recognize the highest GPA in the graduating class. This year, the award goes to Sydney Markham. The Outstanding Senior Award for the major in interior design is similarly presented to the graduating senior who has earned the highest grade point average. This year, the award goes to Natalie Mitchell. Rob Robbins will now present the Outstanding Senior Awards for the Department of Art.
Thank you, Mary. The Department of Art is pleased to honor several recipients for this year's Outstanding Senior Awards. Selections for the awards were made by consensus of the faculty in each program. Each awardee represents a degree program within the Department of Art, and I'd like to ask each of you to come to the stage as I announce your name. In the Communication Design program, the awardee this year goes to Nok Ong. Come on up, Nok. The Outstanding Senior Award in the Studio Art program goes to Hannah Litt. The Outstanding Senior Award in Art and Architecture History goes to Sam Wiebel. And last but not least, the Art Education Program awards Olivia Link the Outstanding Senior Award in Art Education. Thank you. The Outstanding Senior Award in the Department of Music will be presented by Jeremy Jones.
The recipient of the Outstanding Future Music Educator Award is chosen by the Music Education Committee. Selection criteria include grade point average, leadership, service to the department, and great promise as a future music educator. The 2024 Outstanding Future Music Educator Award this year goes to two recipients, Leah McCain and Sarah La Mancha. Will you please come to the stage? The recipient for the Outstanding Music Scholar Award is chosen by the Academic Areas Committee. This year, the committee selected an outstanding student who has distinguished herself through independent, creative, and scholarly work. I am pleased to present this award to Annabelle Thorne. Finally, the recipient of the Outstanding Performer Award is chosen by the Performance Studies Committee. The committee members chose the graduating senior that they believe has the most distinguished record of music performance during his or her Miami University studies. This year, the Outstanding Performer Award goes to Theodora Hamey Bone. Matt Omasta will present the Outstanding Senior Award for the Department of Theater.
The Department of Theater, at its awards ceremony last week, celebrated the following seniors for their excellent work in academics, leadership, creativity, and service. I ask you to please stand and be recognized. For outstanding service, Maggie Ballard and Lauren Lewis. For outstanding leadership, Alexander Lurk. For outstanding creative achievement, Jonathan Irwin, Nina Harani, and Tammy Sanau. For outstanding academic achievement, Michael Ferguson, Min Nguyen, and Abby Sokol. Please be seated. Each year, the faculty and the staff of the theater department choose one student to receive the award for overall excellence in theater, and I ask this year's award winner to come to the stage. For overall excellence in theater, Abby Sokol. The Outstanding Senior Awards in the Department of Emerging Technology and Business and Design will be presented by Michael Bailey Van Kuren.
Emerging Technology and Business and Design recognized our graduates who received awards yesterday for their distinctive achievements during the ETBD luncheon yesterday. As I read each of your names, please stand and be recognized. Jackson Clayton, Jelani McKenzie, Nathan Mysona, Jay Shearer, Sammy Sagowski, Zoe Blank, Connor Harmon, Ben Haswell, Gabby Jones, Mihaela Manova, Ian Russell, and Sabrina Ratchford. Please be seated. We also single out 3 of these students for top awards. Would you please come to the stage to receive these awards? For Outstanding ETBD Scholar, this year's award goes to Zoe Blank. For Outstanding Games and Simulation Scholar, this year's award goes to Jay Shearer. And for Outstanding ETBD Ambassador, this year's award goes to Gabby Jones. I invite Jack Green to the podium to present the awards from the Richard and Carol Cox Art Museum.
Thank you, Michael. This year, the Richard and Carol Cox Art Museum acknowledges a Community Partner of the Year, a Volunteer Leader, and a Faculty Leader of the Year for their efforts to connect the Art Museum to the community and to students. This year's Community Partner is Katie Wilson, Girl Scouts Troop Leader of the Talawanda and Ross districts. And this year's Volunteer Leader is Ellen Burke, who's a volunteer docent at the museum. This year's Faculty Leader of the Year is Harvey Thurmer. Harvey, if you're here, please stand. The Art Museum staff recognize the following graduating seniors for their significant contributions. They received awards at the Art Museum's annual meeting. Macy Chamberlain of the College of Creative Arts and Gillian Schwab of the College of Arts and Sciences. And I'd like to recognize one student for their leadership and ongoing contributions to the Richard and Carol Cox Art Museum and ask her to come to the stage. This year's outstanding CCA Student Leader of the Year is Macy Chamberlain.
Among today's distinguished group of graduates are several who have earned highest honors for their academic performance during their time at Miami, and I'd like to recognize them now. Would students who have earned the Latin honor recognition cum laude please stand and be recognized? Be seated. Would students who have earned the recognition magna cum laude please stand? Be seated. And finally, would students who have earned the recognition summa cum laude and a cumulative GPA of at least 3.9 please stand? Let's congratulate all of these exceptional students. In 1994, the College of Creative Arts received a substantial endowment from John and Jean Eversty to establish an award recognizing Professor Emeritus Crossan Hayes Curry, a former faculty member in the Department of Art, who was greatly admired for his teaching and his art making. The award honors outstanding faculty in the college who have blended creative and scholarly achievements to the advantage of student learning. I'd like to recognize the past Curry Award winners. If you are here, please stand. Want to recognize all of you for your creativity, talent, professionalism, and dedication to students. Thank you for serving as outstanding role models. I'm pleased to announce that the recipient of the Crossan Hayes Curry Distinguished Educator Award for 2024 is Stephanie Denker, Associate Professor in the Department of Art. The Crossan Hayes Curry Award is the highest recognition of excellence in teaching awarded by the College of Creative Arts, and Stephanie Denker is a most deserving recipient among a pool of very talented faculty. In her letter of nomination, Professor Elizabeth Hoover wrote, "Dr. Denker is a phenomenal teacher dedicated to lifelong learning, continual collaboration, relationship building, intentional reflection, communities of practice, and expressions of gratitude." Iso Abradovich, current second-year art education student, wrote in her letter of support, "She always puts her students first and encourages us to be the best we can be in everything we do. Dr. Danker goes above and beyond to make sure all of her students and everyone else too feel included, valued, seen, and heard inside and outside of the classroom. She cares deeply for each of us as people first and scholars second, and wants us to succeed in the ways we want to do so." Dr. Hoover concludes her nomination. Dr. Danker's passion for meaningful processes in learning inspires students, colleagues, and dear friends around her to value the same. She influences and motivates me every single day in my own teaching and professional development. I am so grateful for our friendship. There is no one more deserving of the Cross and Hayes Curry Distinguished Educator Award than Dr. Stephanie Danker. Dr. Danker today is unable to accept this award in person because she's working on a research project in Portugal. So in absentia, please join me in congratulating Dr. Stephanie Danker. And now, finally, we'd like to recognize our Graduates by Degree program. And I invite Associate Dean Abbott and our College of Creative Arts chairs to the podium to do so.
Will all of the master's degree candidates in the College of Creative Arts please rise? It is my honor to recognize our master's candidates this morning in architecture, art, entrepreneurship and emerging technology, esports management, experience design, and music. As graduate students, these individuals set the intellectual and creative bar for their respective departments and programs. The master's degree typically requires a minimum of 30 credit hours of coursework and scholarly activities beyond the baccalaureate degree. These rigorous programs prepare our graduates to enter the workforce as advanced professionals or for further academic study. With the approval of the graduate faculty, each of these candidates has completed all of the requirements for their degree, and I present them to you with pride. Please join me in recognizing our master's candidates once again. You may be seated.
Will the amazing graduates of the Department of Architecture and Interior Design please rise? Please join me in recognizing our graduates in Architecture and Interior Design. You may be seated.
Will the graduates of the Arts Management and Arts Entrepreneurship program, along with the co-majors in Arts Management, please stand and be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated.
Will all of the graduates of the Department of Art please rise? Please join me in recognizing our graduates in studio art, communication design, art education, and art and architecture history, along with our co-majors in art therapy and fashion.
You may be seated. Will the graduates of the Department of Music please rise? Please join me in recognizing our graduates in music performance, music education, music composition, and the Bachelor of Arts in Music. You may be seated.
Will the graduates in the Department of Theater please rise? Please join me in recognizing our graduates in theater. You may be seated.
Will the graduates of the Department of Emerging Technology in Business and Design please rise? Join me in recognizing our graduates in ETBD, Games and Simulation, and Interactive Media Studies. Love you. You may be seated.
And we now honor the accomplishments of our graduates, including our co-majors, by recognizing each 2024 graduate in the College of Creative Arts individually. Candidates will be announced by Patty Libertor, Liz Mullenix, Glenn Platt, and Jack Green as they cross the platform. And I invite our faculty to greet students as they leave the stage. Marshals, please escort faculty to the side aisles.
Jack Patrick Clement.
Shi Zhou.
Logan P. Neaton.
Yi Yun Jin. Mateus Silva de Souza.
Nicholas Stephen Solis.
John Allen Miller.
Jared Clinton Bradley.
Kieran McNamara.
Caitlin Elizabeth Compress.
Chi Leng Lo.
Madeline Ann Haynes.
Jacob Paul Ruthier.
Gavin Nicholas Alsterday.
Libby Brianna Morgan.
Mitchell Ezra Hyder.
Sarah Faith Alexis Strait.
Samuel Brooks Vaughan.
Kelsey Marie Nolan.
Austin Ertl.
Amber Dewey Schultz.
Alyssa Latek.
William Terry Monroe.
Christine Eleni Hollander.
Shravan Shailesh Kumar Patel.
Jasmine Marie Snellen.
Christopher V. Curtis Jr.
Elizabeth Caroline Grossman.
Erfan Afififan. Zarin Tasman Prame. Isabella Noel Sagaris.
Sabrina Lauren Ratchford.
Kristen Nigelski.
Catherine Smith.
Leah Unger.
Emily Catherine Edwards.
Sam Fraser Weibel.
Grace Ann Toby.
Gianna Marie Vallada.
Grace Elizabeth Klebe.
Melanie Grace Schaefer.
Lauren Elise Harris.
Caitlin Rose Brunner.
Benjamin Delano Broncato.
Cecilia Lorraine Schuler.
Benjamin Allard Haswell.
Meredith Ann Cluse.
Caleb J. Edelman.
Jessica Suzanne Pierce.
Javin Xavier McVeigh.
Julia Grace Linzel.
Tyler James Bornovitz.
Molly Breen Zooks.
Isabella Marie Harless.
Marie Charlotte Moeller.
Kyle Matthew Zevchek.
Madeline Jordan Heller.
Raymond Paul Schmitz III.
Ash Padilla.
Brandon Zachary Weikert.
Mia Ann Forte.
Jessica Nee Nguyen.
Olivia Lucille Link.
Gianni Paolo Duane Damatkia.
Olivia Margaret Snow.
Catherine Greater.
Rochelle Swan.
Aidan Sean Quigley.
Lacey Leanne Clark.
Cameron Dale Foister.
Hannah Rose Litt.
Jason Albert Allen.
Allison Marielle Power.
Connor Zielinski.
McKenna Lauren Thierry.
Zoe Marie Blank.
Maeve Rowan Vulcan.
Jay Shear.
McKenna Jean Malcolm.
Benjamin Eric Collinson.
Haley Leanne Staniford.
Grace Maura McGann.
Henry Michael Hochtel.
Noah A. Zimmerman.
Sarah Nicole Tucker.
David Andrew Harkness.
Faith Denise Kilgo.
Charles Scott Brewer.
Julian Rafael Rivera.
Jacob Michael Girding.
Ava Anselmima Selvaggi.
Andrew William Stigler.
Emily Rosia Villaba.
Haley C. Leddy.
Macy McCarthy Chamberlain.
Kendall Brooke Hindline.
Madeline Liedel.
Alyssa Nicole Garrison.
Allison Marie Pekolsky.
Alex Lee McCoy.
Lindsay Renee Gant.
Donald Edward Waddy Jr.
Carolyn Nicole Silly.
Thomas Arthur Cryer.
Emily Ann Hogan.
Logan William Breedy.
Mackenzie Elizabeth Abodile.
Jaden Thomas Peterson.
Claudia Marie Brown.
Connor Patrick Harmon.
Morgan Elizabeth Schramm.
Noah Isaac Davis.
Eliza Jane Bush.
Logan Michael Young.
Grace Helen Ann McAllister.
Gannon Riley Arredondo.
Danielle Rose Silver.
Griffin Ryan Decker.
Caitlin Renee Smith.
Samantha Ann Sigowski.
Allison Michelle Berkowitz.
Samantha Sophia Jones.
Haley Isabel Mascari.
Griffin Milo Banfelt.
Laura Kate Shunkin.
Benjamin David Grimm.
Elizabeth Grace King.
Marina Sophia Fairmay.
Mackenzie Bryant.
Eric Alexander Von Zasrow.
Elliot Paul Rice.
Elizabeth Ann Marie Davis.
Kristen Imsichia.
Tabitha Lynette Bestine Perry.
Lorena Mariana Ianiro.
Charles Young II.
Oh, wait. Peyton Sarah Matic.
Bailey Keys Tate.
Sydney Marie Wismer.
Grace Catherine Hall.
Rebecca Gail Shook.
Alana Lenora Alana.
Nak Min Ung.
Jasmine Marie Pearson.
Alexander Michael Lepre.
Annie Elizabeth Heinrichs.
Hannah Elizabeth Small.
Jacqueline Eileen Barber.
William Thomas Ganella.
Julia Marie Nida.
Elizabeth K. Dwyer.
Mia Marie Telanrico.
Gabrielle Rose Benedict.
Ian Joseph Russell.
Lauren Sophie Belowski.
Ian J. Rose.
Nathaniel David Bourne.
Nathan Scott Mysona.
Alexandra Elizabeth Casson.
Louis Duke Holmeyer.
Justin Parks.
Aiden Robert Blakely.
Sydney Michelle Markham.
Madeline Ann Tatum.
Nadia Nicole Ritter.
Anna Marie Eichelberger.
Carolyn Grace.
Tara Renee Grambo.
Lauren Michelle Roush.
Alexandra Riley Cooper.
Julia Sharon Nawa.
Morgan Elise Rogers.
Megan Gabriella Sicardi.
Noah Maxwell Woods.
Leah Yianakoris.
Jackson Avery Phillips.
Caitlin Elizabeth Jones.
Madeline K. Schlecht.
Zoe Lee Howard.
Danielle Ashley McCarthy.
Austin Michael Grant.
Gracie Bree Puhana.
Nicholas Stephen Hebler.
Daniel Cardenas Gandara.
Garrett Edward May.
Conrad Thomas Lesheim.
Jason Lewis Loeb.
Mason J. Stoll.
Francis Patrick Michael.
Son The Mong.
Charles Michael Slovis.
Von Zhang Nguyen.
Haley Jade Plannert.
Jelani Peter Mackenzie.
Verona Eve Schaffner.
Anthony James Walls.
Reagan Allen West.
Eli Fields Marusik.
Ilara S. Pritchard.
Jackson Kenneth Clayton.
Daniel Anthony Sycon.
Ethan Kennedy Davila.
Abigail DeSales Mudd.
Mihaila Dimitrova Manova.
Claire Elizabeth Van Dam.
Erin Kathleen McGovern.
Roman Joseph Mara.
Gabrielle Elizabeth Jones.
Garrett John Dorn.
Megan Kizik.
Marissa Grace Sandoval.
Manu Geldillo.
Abigail Ives Moss.
Lai Tong.
Natalie Marie Poronsky.
Jahao Yu.
Natalie Rose Mitchell.
Ru O Fan Wu.
Caitlin Rose Butterfield.
Michael Patrick Lees.
Kaylee Therese O'Hara.
Alexandra Elizabeth Lurk.
Leah Allison Neltner.
Chase Jade Weimerskirk.
Kylie Marie Spang.
Tristan Riley Peters.
Aurora
Nina
Ortiz Liarazo.
Nina Elizabeth Harani.
Fatuma Mustafa Yassin.
Michael J. Ferguson.
Robert Standish McBride.
Lauren Elizabeth Lewis.
Audrey Grace Elter.
Tamura Ann Sano.
Tyler Olivia Gray.
Jonathan Clark Irwin II.
Kaylee A. Murphy.
Maggie Jane Ballard.
Lauren Ann Cameron.
Abigail Alana Sokol.
Megan Colleen Kors.
Lam Tuong Min Nguyen.
Cameron Michael Mussey.
Sarah Rose Benson.
John Francis Kilbane.
Lauren Rosalie Burt.
Joseph Richard Crotty V.
Bailey Nicole Carson.
Samantha Grace Gallup.
Samuel Miles Mikes Thacker.
Kaylee Grace Reichel.
Leah Marie McCain.
Grayson Benjamin Goodwin.
Elizabeth Diane Larson.
Megan Elizabeth Montoya.
Sarah Catherine Lamantia.
Lindsay Catherine Goodrich.
Benjamin Jacob Lieber.
Michelle Francis Roti.
Maxwell J. Lieber.
Sydney Michelle Gaspari.
Hiram Joseph Dodd.
Anna Grace Martin.
Rachel Ann Landers.
Peyton Ashley Cleverly.
Isaac M. Yobi.
Lilia May Kleeman.
Annabelle Grace Thorne.
Taylor Nicole Samadell.
Bradley James Kefaba.
Margaret Elizabeth Rasher.
Sophie Mia Arcusa.
Grace Elizabeth McElhaney.
Daniel Sozdashoff.
Allison B. McDavid.
Caleb Paul Shear.
Houchin Tan.
Josephine Emmy Kramer.
Janyun Dai.
Ryan Alexander Boa.
Shijun B.
Alec John Reeder.
Ava K. Buckley.
Evan Christopher Tanner.
Sean Christopher Cronin.
John Edward Obermeyer.
Colin Alexander Wiseman.
Carly Taylor Eisen.
Riley Forbes Timmons. Last in line, man.
Christina Auk.
Griffin Patrick Krebs.
Eric August Rydell. Jaisla Talie Nis Rosario Santos. Emma Elizabeth Foreman. Theodora Hemi Bowen. Gillian Arden Lentz. Charles Andrew Schaefer. Emily Violet Thornton. Carter Andrew Fogg. Sarah Catherine Shuyue Perry. Yiyong Fu. Kweku Adu.
Okay, as they move through the line, will all the graduates please stand? Graduates, I wish you a lifetime of learning, of success, of creativity. Congratulations to our thriving artists, innovators, and creatives. And one more time, a big applause for the 2024 graduates. The words and music to the Miami alma mater are located in your program. Please rise and join Eric Rydell, accompanied by the trombone ensemble, in the singing of Miami's alma mater.
Old Miami, you were founded in our nation's early days. Now we join with generations in a song of love and praise. Old Miami, new Miami, days of old and days to be. Weave the story of thy glory, our Miami, here's to thee.
Thank you, Eric, and please be seated. And I ask you to remain seated until the faculty and graduates have left the arena. To the music provided by today's platform party, directed by Dr. Chris Tanner. As we reach the conclusion of the 2024 College of Creative Arts recognition ceremony, we invite all of you to join us in an informal reception in the North Rink next door, where you can meet the faculty, take pictures, and enjoy some refreshments. And again, to all of today's graduates, congratulations.